Hi, welcome back to Nick's Drum Lessons. Today's lesson is going to be on how to play a train beat, as well as a killer variation on how to do so, okay? I love showing train beats to students because even early on, if they're a beginner, it's a good entry level into four-way coordination, okay? Your left foot, your right foot, and both hands need to be doing something very specific to get this thing grooving just right. If you're not familiar with the train beat, definitely check out songs such as Devil Went Down to Georgia, Ballroom Blitz, I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick. A lot of country music such as Johnny Cash and even current band, the Zac Brown Band, do quite a cool variations on a train beat. So definitely check out those bands as well as those songs to get an idea of how this should be grooving, okay, other than just this video. All right, so long story short, let's get into how to play a train beat, all right? Now, the big specifics here are that I'm going to write it down in the PDF attached to nicksdrumlessons.com as well as the link down below. I'm going to write the feet as eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the hands as 16th notes, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So let's start with the feet. The feet are just walking. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you see in the video that my left foot on the hi-hat is just basically heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And my bass drum is going to be strictly, mostly, well, it's going to be heel up because I want a heavy, heavy bass drum to counter the accent that's on the snare coming up, all right? So there's the feet, 1 and 2 and 3 and. As far as the hands are, they're just 16th notes. I would start with just being able to do single stroke 16ths, 1 E and a 2 E and a, very, very quiet, very ghosted. You want to feel it but not hear it. Here's the hands. All right. Now, there is an accent on your right hand, every other right hand on the ands. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. If you see it in the PDF, that's basically that accent on the snare is falling on the left foot. That is not easy for most drummers. This is why it's a good exercise / beat for beginners to really get down, because your instinct is to get your bass drum and accent together. No, in this case, it's the left foot and the right hand, all right? So I'm going to go through a series of kind of levels to get me there. I'm going to start with the feet. I'm going to add my right hand that syncs up with both feet. I'm going to add then the accent with the ands on the snare drum. And then I'm going to finally put in that left hand. If you're doing this right, majority of the time, your snare drum is going to be barely 1 inch to 2 inches high. The accent, you have all my permission in the world, just the hammer of God down on that accent just to get it really thumping. And again, it's that David Garibaldi of Tower of Power philosophy. The bigger the range of the dynamics, the better the groove. If you get the non-accents and the accent kind of close together and it just creates gray versus black and white, it's not going to groove at all. It's just going to be very bland. So again, extreme, very quiet snare drums versus accents. It's going to groove just right. So again, get that grooving just right dynamically, okay? Coordination-wise, it doesn't look hard, but you'd be shocked for a lot of beginners. It is a tricky little bugger, okay? So even in the intermediate players, definitely revisit some train beats. Now, here's the cool part, okay? Now, I was shown this one early on in like the 90s when I was much younger. But anyway, this one always stuck in my head because I grew up with thrash and heavy metal music, okay? So I'm thinking in the thoughts of like Anthrax and those type of bands, Testament, where they'd give you these like, okay, it was like punk music, but it was way more full. And again, it wasn't like they were doing double bass. So here's kind of the heavy metal train beat that also Could be a train beat, could not, but it sounds great against a train beat. So here's what's going to happen, all right? My hands are going to just keep eighth notes here, 1 and 2 and 3 and you can do it on a crash, a ride, a china. It would sound great on either one. Right now we'll do it on the ride cymbal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Your snare is going to be on the ands, and right now just do the feet as before, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Not hard, but this is the building blocks to get to the interesting one. All right, that's not hard. Again, try to get that back and forth with a train beat. A little bit more difficult than you think. All right, so that's laying the grounds for the, quote, interesting thrash metal version. All right, now what's going to happen is everything's going to keep that foundation or skeleton going, all right? But now I'm going to double my right foot. So now the feet are 1 En, 2 En, 3 En, 4 En. My left hand's going to fill in that 16th note gap by playing an 1 and a 2 and a. I'm still accenting the and ghosting the second hit. So heavy, short, and that's what this sounds like. All right, now listen to how this puts together, or is put together. All right, very cool. And again, it emulates that train beat just right. It would sound more appropriate in country music, obviously, with that ride cymbal. When you get to those crashes in that china, oh boy, that sounds way more energized than you know, what you'd hear in country music. But again, you do hear a lot of this in country music. But anyway, that's more like your Anthrax, your Blink-182's kind of punky, filled with, you know, notes, you know, not just the hokey boom da boom da boom da. But actually now 1 yen, 2 yen, 3 and 4 yen. Very cool stuff. Now, again, nail it back and forth with the transitions of the train beat as well as the embellished version now. A lot of fun a train beat can be, all right? I have yet to meet a drummer who, once they've nailed it, once they've mastered it, didn't have a blast playing it, all right? So you have the regular train beat as well as the embellished one that emulates more of like a thrash metal punk groove, okay? So anyway, on Nick's Drum Lessons, you'll see the PDF of both beats, and you can see how they relate visually. And if you have any questions, let me know at nicksdrumlessons.com. Until the next video, enjoy. Bye.